I don't know how to drive. I'm driving a little bit, but it's a really narrow path. And at some point, the path has a dip in it. So the car becomes asymmetrical and it flips. So can you imagine my mom and my family's horror? I will never forget her scream in my life.
Hello, namaste. Welcome to the Zarna Garg family podcast. 4 Gargs are in the house today. We are so excited to get this topic kick-started because everybody has an opinion, everybody has a plan, or they don't have a plan, but they have a reason why they don't have a plan. We are going to talk about family vacations, vacation planning, things that we like to do, things we like to spend money on, things we cannot stand to spend money on, all things vacation. We're going to get right into it. In the house today, we have my husband of 25 years, Shalabh Garg, Wall Street veteran, my little one who's a middle schooler, Veer Garg, my daughter who's about to finish college, Zoya Garg, my older son who is a freshman in college is actually working today, so will not be joining, but he will be watching and he will have opinions and has secretly shared all his opinions with me, so I will be speaking on his behalf. As we know, he has authorized me to speak for him. But let's get right into it. We are approaching the summer season, which means everybody everywhere is going to talk about where they're going, what vacation, what clothes they're buying, what bikinis they're going to have for the young ones. The Gargs are notoriously a family that don't take vacations.
I mean, we want to. That's
No,
not
I
true.
don't want to.
I miss
No.
Europe. I really miss Europe. It's been a while since we've been to Europe, and
I feel like
really,
you're on the low. Like I feel like you're on the low. You really like vacations, or maybe not even on the low. Maybe on the high. I feel like you went to Miami recently.
yes, but I haven't been to Europe in 2 years.
But then go to Europe.
I'm just saying that I miss Europe. I feel like we went to
What
Europe
is
when
it
Zoya
about
was
Europe
working.
specifically? Is it the
I don't know.
class?
I think it's
Is
the
it
food, high quality of food. Like when you were there working in London, which year was that? This last
That
year? or
was
the year
the
before?
summer after my sophomore year.
Yeah, so that's almost 2 years. So 2 years ago, we were there in London, and it was really fun. It was oh no, we went to London for something else as well, right? After
I
that?
don't. I
Mom
mean,
performed.
I go for work all the time, but that's not a vacation. That's the thing. Like,
Speaking about the food in Europe, the favorite vacation the Garg family has implemented is the eating vacation, which is something that's very so Indian, so
What's
Garg
the eating
family.
vacation? What are you talking about?
yes,
So basically, things that a typical vacation you just go for a getaway, but me, my brother, my mom mainly, instead of spending all that money on that, we basically say that okay, we have this money we were gonna spend on a getaway vacation, but instead you guys can order as much food as you want, eat whatever you want, eat the best high quality whatever food you want in this time period. In this time period, this 2 weeks that we were meant to go on vacation, you eat whatever you want and spend as much money on food as you want to, because otherwise we would have went on vacation.
Now,
But
do you not find that addictive? Like when the 2 weeks end, how are you able to go back to normal?
well, when you leave a vacation, how are you able to go back to normal?
Yeah, but it's not the same thing because when you leave, you physically leave, and to get that enjoyment again, you have to get on a plane. Here, presumably, you're ordering food from around different parts of the city, which are always accessible to you.
Well, it's the guilt is weighing you down, because when you're in those 2 weeks, you're like, I deserve this. I've worked all the year. This is the vacation. But then if you're spending the same amount of money on food after, you're thinking, what have I done to deserve this?
yeah,
It's like a
yeah.
reward.
No, we have done food vacations. I know exactly, because a lot of what we do on vacation is like we go to this restaurant, we go to that restaurant. So we were like, why don't we just save the money and the run around and do all the food things we want to do here without feeling the guilt associated with it, and that also keeps overall the costs low and keeps our sanity intact. We get to enjoy some quiet time in our own house where we're not all running to school and college and whatever other things that we're running to. So definitely, I mean, I'm not a vacation person at all. I've come to accept that
Well, although
about
you
myself.
said that last year you wanted to you never did, but that you wanted to stay at the resort in Phoenix
Yeah,
for 10 days, which you thought
Yeah.
had everything in it, and
yeah.
invite even the kids for a few days, and then you never ended up doing it.
But
on those
my
different days.
dream scenario is that we all go to a big vacation resort and we all work together there. That's my dream scenario, that we sit by the poolside and we actually make plans for our next project or the next thing that we want to do. I don't like the idea of just sitting around and doing nothing. It's not my thing.
I like it. I like the idea of sitting around and doing nothing, especially if it's sprinkled with, light activities. Like once we did This is a long time ago, but we drove those little truck. No, not trucks. What were they called?
The
Oh my
ATVs
Oh
were the
my
worst things. That was
God.
the worst thing we ever did, and we almost died doing
I
it.
think
Dad,
I
you
almost
set her up for that
Oh
one.
my
traumatized.
god!
Oh my
I
God,
can't
mom's
believe,
actually
like,
about to
I
crash out.
can't.
Like, I actually don't know why you would bring that up.
I
I
can't
mean, that
believe
was
you
Set her
would
up.
bring that
Why
up.
was it not a good
We
experience?
literally were stuck in a desert in Phoenix, and we did like hundreds of miles in with a guy who had a gun. I mean, it was like the scariest thing of my life. And then Zoya was driving an ATV that went off rails and fell, and I thought we were going to lose a kid. And literally, there was
It was
signs.
okay, like to basically like set it up a little bit because I think we're telling the story a little bit badly. Like it was one like it was a proper desert in the middle of nowhere, cacti, snakes. This tour guide guy who was giving us this ATV ride had knives, a gun. We didn't know who this guy
But
was.
he showed us
Wait,
water from the cactus. You won't
okay,
dehydrate.
Dad, I can't right now. Essentially, I was on an ATV in front of the big ATV. Big ATV has the whole family. I'm in this little ATV. I don't know how to drive. I'm driving a little bit, but it's a really narrow path. And at some point, the path has a dip in it. So the car becomes asymmetrical and it flips. So can you imagine my mom and my family's horror? I will never forget her scream in my life. I thought I might have died. And the car basically flipped on me, and there was a dent in the car where I was sitting. So it didn't actually collapse on me. But the vehicle was at least 200, 300. It could have definitely.
I can't believe your dad remembers that as a sprinkling of activity.
Well,
Shut
Mom.
up, like seriously, we all literally, and the guy with the gun and the knives, after taking us to the middle of the desert, like hours of driving in the desert in the heat, told us that no one should enter the desert without knives and a gun. And meanwhile, we were loaded up on Kleenex and Purell. So
Mom,
I
now that I'm
remember
old enough,
looking
we
at
should
my
go
stuff.
again.
No,
No,
we're
you were
not
not.
going.
You did not go. But I'm glad that you brought it up. It would be nice
No.
to. Now you can. You cannot drive a ATV
No,
until you're 18. But
never.
you can go.
I do not want any of you guys doing any of these dangerous activities. There's no payoff. There is none. No adventure rides, no roller coasters, no ATVs, no helicopter. Do you know the helicopter accident that just happened? The tourism
In the Hudson
helicopter.
River.
Like
Yeah.
these things are not literally. There is no organization that's controlling the quality at all, and you put your life in their hands for
Okay,
what?
I think you're taking this a little bit to an extreme because
And no water sports.
And what about amusement parks? We love amusement parks.
No, we hate amusement parks.
What like
that's
you
what I'm
like
saying. You're taking this to an insane extreme because you are insane. I don't know how
He just
how
called me
this
insane.
how this got to roller coasters. Where did roller coasters come into this?
Roller
I
coasters
mean, not
are very
even just roller
dangerous.
coaster. Mom doesn't want Bridge to drive 3 miles from campus.
That was fake news. That was fake news. It's not that I don't want him to drive 3 miles. In fact, I don't mind if he drives locally, but I don't want him to drive across states and go take his friends, and then the friends are driving each other. Like, I am not okay with any of that. I don't, it's too much risk. It is too much responsibility that kids don't fully understand. Adults barely understand. Do you know how many adults, you know how many Uber drivers I sit with and they're on their phones? These are
Yeah,
professional drivers.
Waymo needs to actually demolish the market because I do think that like we as a generation can't drive anymore. We don't have the attention span for it.
Nobody, I mean, I see it all the time. It's like there's no point even reporting it to anybody because they all know it's happening and no one seems to care.
Yeah. 100%. I agree.
And so it's like,
Um,
and for what are you taking this risk? What are you going to feel in a roller coaster that you can't feel on the ground? Tell me, Veer.
Wait,
I mean,
I
by
wanna.
definition, the roller coaster
The
is
adrenaline.
accelerating you and giving you the adrenaline rush. How are you
I
going to
just
feel
think-
that walking?
I do think you can't have it all. Right? I think this idea that you can go on the vacation and like spend all this money and like have all this fun and also be like grinding and working hard and like I don't know. I think you just got to pick your truth for a year and just do that thing for a year. That's my take. And my
I don't know.
mentor
I feel like vacation to Universal, our vacation to all of these amusement parks was real fun. Did you
Ma-
not have a good time when the three of us?
Horrible time. Horrid. I was stressed
Do
out
not,
the entire
she's not
time.
speaking for us. I
Yeah,
haven't
I
made
am
time.
speaking. Veer, you didn't even want to go on a roller coaster. Why don't you tell him that?
But
Why don't you tell
at the
people
time,
that
at
your
the
dad
time, I didn't want
forced
to go.
you?
Do I regret
Yes.
that? Not even a little bit.
No, But he forced you. He forced you to get into because he thinks it's a cool thing
You
to
were
do.
not
Why is
there.
she
You were
screaming?
not there.
Why
You
is
were
she-
Because
not there.
we don't agree as parents on this, and he always makes it about being cool, and there's nothing cool about strapping
I
yourself in
forget
a
the name
metal
of that
bucket.
ride at Universal
It
that
was
we
the, it
just
was the
loved.
Jurassic coaster or something like that.
Whatever.
Wait.
Okay,
First
mom,
of all,
mom. Was
Yeah.
I
What?
half forced? Was I half forced and didn't want to do it in the moment? Yes, 100%. Do I regret it? No. That was the best, like one of the best memories ever looking back. I remember right after, like we were all talking to dad about how much he walked. I remember that one moment where the roller coaster got super fast and
I think we
everybody was
walked.
screaming.
I think we walked 30,000 steps that day.
Yeah, we walked at
That
least
is the
30,000.
adrenaline. Yes, that is the adrenaline. You don't need the
But
other
each
stuff.
of those steps was to a purpose, you know. We were trying to get from a ride to another ride. Did we do the Harry Potter too, Veer? I can't remember.
No,
We
we
didn't
didn't.
end up doing Harry Potter. That was
Oh,
really
because
fun.
it was a separate entrance and all that. It was much
I-
more complicated.
My favorite part, one of my favorite parts of going to museums with mom is she will point out all the business strategies of amusement parks.
Yes.
Honestly,
Yes.
I think
That's the yeah.
What's
think
the business strategy of amusement park? I mean,
okay, when I was little, I remember like I'm gonna make mom sound like such a weird mom, but like when I was actually so little and mom wouldn't go on the rides, she would take me aside and be like, "Do you smell that smell?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You know why they smell it like that?" I was like, "Why?" Like my childlike dreams, they just never existed. Cotton candy smells. Instead of being like, "Do you
Yes.
like those cotton candy smells?" She was like, "No." Do you know why it smells like cotton candy?
They're
I was like,
pumping that.
"Why?" She was like, "They're pumping it out so that you want to buy cotton candy and more." I was
Yes.
like, "What?"
no,
Yes.
that is true.
And then she would explain how instead of letting me play the whack-a-mole games that cost more money, she would explain why they priced it the way they did, because they priced it the way they did so that the unit economics make no sense. Like you just end up spending more and more money. I don't know. It was just so interesting. I
Weird.
actually do
See,
enjoy that.
this is the adrenaline. I feel that rush when I figure out what the marketing is and how
I
they're
mean,
tricking
Zarna,
people.
you did not crack something that complicated. I mean,
Okay,
it's like
well-
cracking out, like when I was gambling in Vegas, you cracking out, there's an oxygen thing going on to keep the
Yeah,
players
but
alive.
no one else did. I told you. He's like, you shut up. You walked into a casino in Las Vegas. Literally in Las Vegas, you walked into a casino and you're like, I feel so fresh.
Oh my god.
Literally, they are pumping oxygen on your head. So you
Mom.
stay awake as much as they can probably stretch your eyeballs out, and you like play with every dollar that you have and every dollar you don't even have.
What are your thoughts on the logistics of vacations, like the plane rides
Horrible.
and packing?
Horrible. Oh my God. Can we talk about the vacation that we bagged on?
Oh my god.
Bagged on mini.
We didn't end up going.
Wait, which one?
Okay, so Vera, when you were really little, you were like 5. You had this dream of going fishing. You really
Yes.
wanted to go fishing. You were like, I think we had watched like Tom and Jerry and like Tom was fishing or something, and you were like, I really want to go fishing. And mom felt so guilty because we obviously live in New York City. Like there's no fish in sight, right? Like there's literally no fish in sight. The salmon has been dead for 10 years. Like there's no fish in sight. So mom went like overboard planning a perfect fishing vacation for you and the whole family, where she like booked hotel rooms, she like hired the doorman who's like an excellent fisherman to like teach us how to fish. Like he had gotten all the supplies, the fishing rods, the bait. And the night we were supposed to go, we were watching Shark Tank. I think we had watched maybe 4 hours of Shark Tank. And I looked at mom and I said, none of us have packed for our trip that we're supposed to leave at 6 a.m. tomorrow. And then mom just is like, should we go? And then I don't know what happened from there, but we ended up bagging the entire trip.
We just took a vote of me, Zoya, and Bridge, and we were like, who's gonna go pack their bags? And the thought of packing bags was so exhausting that we lost money on everything and we just slept in.
And
And
then
I
we
forgot to push
proceeded.
it.
We didn't even do anything different. We just watched more Shark Tank the next day. It was the most ridiculous thing.
I thought the best fishing I ever did was with the insurance agent in Connecticut who would bring us on his boat and he would fish and we would watch.
Yeah.
And then he would clean and he would drop us. I don't know. Veer was too little, but Zoya probably remembers.
No,
Yeah,
but that
that
was a
was
sales trip for him. That's how he sold you a life insurance policy.
I know, but it served
I
two
mean,
purposes.
it was
He
He
so.
said,
sold you a life
Yes,
insurance?
yes. After taking
First
him
of all,
fishing.
I
So,
had no
and by
idea.
the way, in the boat, I didn't go, but in the boat, he had like a tool that if he dipped it in the water, he could tell where the fish were. So, like, you could fish
That
fast.
ruins the point of fishing, though.
Yeah, but that, it wasn't about the fishing.
Wait, so
Veer.
it wasn't because I was good at fishing that I caught all this
No,
no,
they had
you were
this
never
thing.
good at fishing.
fish? Oh.
You were pretty much good at one thing and one
No,
thing only.
what I
which is
remember
studying.
is that one time we went fishing in Central Park, and
Which,
our
by the way,
doorman.
can we just take a moment? We went fishing in Central Park, New York. Okay? Can we just accept what that means? We went to pig fishing in a fake park with fake fish and fake animals.
It's a little puddle with some fish.
That they resupply those fish every week. They just put more fish in it. It's not a real pond. Okay,
Okay,
continue.
but
Yeah.
we went fishing in Central Park, and our doorman's 4-year-old kid was catching more fish than us, and it was so like embarrassing to watch. All of us, we just threw our things in there, and I'm pretty sure one of us lost our fishing rods.
I did, yeah. I lost mine.
But Zoya, we had no business owning fishing rods. We had no idea
Why
what
did
we were
have
doing.
those?
We
Mom,
even had a
meanwhile,
whole
was like,
container of worms. Do you remember? We had to like put the worm on
Wait,
the fishing
Wait,
rod.
I remember you were so excited because we were gonna make content of you spectating, but then there was nothing to spectate, and so you just kept feeling like, "Hello, everybody. There is no fish to be caught. There is no fish." To be caught. I was like, "What are we doing here?"
No, but Bree, the logistics of vacation planning is the worst on earth. I mean, I don't understand families that go skiing at all. The amount of work involved, the amount of packing, unpacking, planning, coordinating, the amount of money involved in the ticket, the lift, the going up, the coming down. Holy shit. Only white people could think that this is a vacation. This is not a
Seriously.
vacation. This is not a vacation
And
at
what's up
all.
with the whole like you gotta schedule every minute, you gotta
Minute.
milk every minute of the vacation? Like I do like I don't get it. Like I feel like if you're gonna go and do a museum, go enjoy that one museum and then spend the rest of the day, get a coffee, take a nap, enjoy yourself, like recharge.
I mean, there's
Why
so many
is it-
museums in New York City. I don't think any one of us has even been to one. Have you been to the Met?
I've been to many.
It's
I've
too
been to
blocks
all
out.
of the museums.
Yeah,
Have you been to
you're-
the Met, Veer?
I've been to the Met like 3 times.
Yeah,
Museum of Natural History?
Yep.
of course.
Yeah.
Oh, how? Through school?
Yeah, through school. I think one thing that is very underrated on trips is the hotels. I feel like
Yes.
nobody will ever just be fine with chilling in the hotel, getting room service, and just like that bed. That just looks like a cozy area. Why would you not just want to chill there?
Yeah, pay for
And
a
somebody
hotel.
cleans
Yeah.
it. And by
Yeah.
the way, to my credit, Dad always booked the nicest of hotels
Yeah,
whenever we
oh
went.
my
Nicest.
God.
Yeah.
In Miami, we went a long time ago, and I booked the absolute top quality. Like anywhere, America or otherwise, I always book the high quality hotel. Now that your mother is earning more money, we don't stay at as nice hotels as I used to
Oh.
book.
Oh, okay.
I just want to let you know.
Okay.
She always like
Dad,
undercuts the quality
what?
of the hotel.
What are you
We
saying?
literally stayed at the nicest hotel in California last
I'm at
week.
the Four Seasons right now.
Oh, by yourself, not with your family.
I take them too. What are you talking about? I just
I don't
agreed.
remember. I had to stay at your Hulu production, at your Hulu show.
Because
at
we
the
had
most
a crew.
ordinary.
We had a crew of 150 people that we
Dad,
were paying for.
Dad.
And I didn't want to stay in
Everything-
a separate hotel. I wanted us all to be in one
But
place
you are the.
together.
I am the talent.
You're not you're not anything in the show. What are you talking about?
But like I'm related to
he
the talent.
memorized a whole dance. Come on. Okay, wait. My friend.
What were you
I-
saying, Veer? Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Veer.
Oh
You
yeah,
saying
Virga.
I was saying that the hotel was within a 4-block radius of everything, and I think that would have been much better than if we were staying at a nice hotel that was 2 miles away.
I'm
and
just
we had to-
saying that whenever I booked a hotel, it was the absolute top-notch Four Seasons or equivalent hotel wherever we went. And when your mother does it, when she's earning the money, we have to substandard do it.
What are you
I actually am so flabbergasted right now. I don't even know what to say. Okay,
Is
I
that not
will.
true, Zoya? What I said is not
No,
true.
I
Where,
stayed.
where did you stay recently with your mother? Which
I
hotel?
mean every work trip that we go on, we stay in nice places. Very nice, very nice
In
places.
fact, that's the one thing I like to spend money on is being comfortable. I don't want to spend on the amusement park and all that. And I like to
And she flew
be,
us out on Mint. She flew us
yes,
out on Mint.
thank
She
you.
did.
Because we were
Well, okay,
working.
here's the thing.
Because we
Yeah,
were working.
I
We,
okay.
okay, hold on. I will give you a minute. Just let me, because your dad is firing shots at me. Sorry, bleep the F word.
Yeah, you're
Firing
like
shots.
swearing left,
Because
right,
he's
and
like,
center
do you
tonight.
see how he's trashing me in front of my own
No,
family
go,
podcast?
keep going,
Like-
keep going. And your family,
Like, I am very clear that if you're going to be productive with the resources I give you, I will give you really good resources. If you're going to fly business class but use the time either properly recharging or working and coming up with work related ideas, I will consider covering that. We always stay in decent places. In fact, even my team, when they travel, they stay in decent places, always 4-star or 5-star. No one, like, we do not cut corners as long as we are a motivated group that's working.
Well, okay. Another thing is that when it comes to traveling for work, because we do travel and not like I've traveled more in the last 2 years than I have cumulatively in my entire life. And I think that's good. Like honestly, one of the pieces of advice that
You mean outside of San Francisco, New York?
yeah, just like in general, like in the
Yeah.
last 4 years, I've worked in London, I've worked in San Francisco, I went to Rome, I've been to LA, I've been to Vegas, I've been to all these different smaller like cities in different regions to work with mom, and I am so grateful for all those experiences. And also, if you're traveling for work, it's a different mathematical calculation because you have to invest in making sure that when you actually arrive for those meetings for that event, you are like ready. There's no point in making the investment to go all the way out there if you're not going to be laser sharp, ready to go, high energy, because those are minutes that you're not going to get back for a long time, right? It's not like, you know, time with your family where they're seeing you all the time. Like these business meetings, like you're meeting them once and that's their impression of you until the next time you meet them. So you have to be really focused.
I
But
mean, I
anyway,
believe
my
in
point
that,
was,
but I don't like the randomized vacations where you're taking risk for no reason. You're traveling to, oh my god, my pet peeve I will never do for a vacation, I don't care who it is do a connecting flight ever.
oh yeah, I
Like
hate
if
that.
you have to take 2 flights to be somewhere,
Especially if the distance is generally 4 or 5 hours.
like, do you know all these
Unless, if you're
people?
going to India, I can understand that you can do a connecting flight, even though even
Well,
there,
India is not vacation ever, but yeah, but people will be like, oh, but it's paradise, if you take 3 flights. Like, no, by the time I land, I hate everybody. If there are 2 flights, 3 flights involved,
Yeah.
by the
I
time we
can
get there, it's like your mood is so bad. You're praying up for your bags. Everything involved has caused so much stress. I don't know what is the point of taking that vacation.
I think that's a good point because I think that the whole flight experience just makes you more grumpy as a person on the vacation because I remember this most recent trip when we were in California, we took the flight, it was late at night, midnight, and we went to the hotel and they took 10-15 minutes to let us in. And I remember you were being very passive aggressive towards the person for good reason. We
Passive?
paid No, she wasn't like straight out screaming. She was being a little passive aggressive. And
because it was a low quality hotel, probably.
no, it was a
What?
super that's why she was mad because we paid so much money all just for them not to be giving us the best experience. And I think that part of that was because of the flight and so much hassle before.
It's so much. Shut up. There was no one at the door. Like, it was scary to be locked out of the whole place and nowhere to go with all this luggage. Like, no staff, nothing for a very, very expensive hotel. And then when they finally opened the door, there was not a word of apology. I was like, what have I booked? And then whatever, we resolved it, and I wasn't screaming at anybody. I was very much like, I don't understand what's happening, but I do think that if there are too many hoops to jump in a vacation experience, that's I'm out entire. I like the peace of my house. I like my home. And I like that we've built a life that we like to be in every day. That is the vacation.
I completely agree. Completely agree. And everybody who watches the podcast can probably say that I'm like the most like protect your peace, like make your space clean. Recently, I've been leaning a little bit more pro just you gotta do things. You gotta just do some things though. Like I'm not saying that you should waste time, but like I don't know, maybe it's because we've just been doing this peace work thing for like 6 years, and I'm like, oh my god.
What are you talking about?
That's the
World peace?
thing. The Americans, they get you.
I don't know. Did the Americans get me? Is it
The
because
Americans
I'm about
got
to
you.
graduate?
What are you talking about, Zoya? War peace? What?
Work peace. Like I just feel like, Dad, like I live such a regimented life. Like where is my tattoo? Where's my third piercing? Where's my crazy story? Where's that night that I was in jail? You know?
Guys, comment down below if I have to get my ears pierced. Comment down below if you think I look good with pierced
You
ears.
are not getting your ears pierced.
I mean, like we were talking about vacations. How did this become about self-discovery?
Shalad, where is my night in jail? Like, oh my god.
Like my hair hasn't turned any other colors. You know?
Your brothers did, and it looked pretty bad.
Both of us.
Blonde.
I don't regret it.
Veer had it. Veer had blue for one time.
I had blue.
God, just keep the peace and let us do simple things. We do not need the colored hair. We do not need the excitement. Like very basic and boring is where the money is, where the peace is, and I'm very happy with that. Like, where is your night in jail? God, please, she didn't mean that. She did not mean that. She's young, she's stupid, and Ivy League made her even more stupid than what we gave her.
Life as jail, like a pseudonym, like life itself.
No, I meant like a crazy story, you know? My mentor Tara, she whenever she has time to go on a vacation. So for example, when she had just sold her company, which she did, and she was celebrating, she didn't tell anybody, but she booked a very, very nice hotel in Napa, which is a gorgeous environment, and she just for 3 days took hot baths and read for 3 days.
Yeah.
straight.
Exactly.
And she didn't bring her husband. She didn't bring her team. She didn't bring her co-founders. She didn't bring anybody. And she just went, and she literally went off the grid for 3 days. And she told me that whenever she gets to go on vacation, that's exactly what she does. She eats clean. She doesn't drink, and she just literally sits in these baths with these salts. And honestly, that sounded like the best vacation I've ever heard of.
I love that. That's why your mentor and I need to be connected, because that sounds like a vacation to me.
Because you want to be connected so that you can infiltrate her advice to me, so that you can basically insert advice.
I like upscale spas on vacation. I really look forward to that.
No, overrated.
I don't love
overrated.
Those. Yeah,
oh my god,
Agreed.
so a waste of money. They charge hundreds of dollars, and no
I feel
one
like
does
you
it.
and Dad are on very opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
have. I grew up watching them fight about vacations.
I booked one time. I was very tired, and I booked a massage at a 5-star hotel in LA, and I will never forget. I booked such an expensive massage, and I told him that I didn't want him using his elbow. You know how they dig in your elbows, and I said I don't want no elbow, and he goes, "Oh, we cannot use hands the entire time. I have to protect my hand health." And at that time, I was like, you know what? I have officially crossed every kind of crazy land. I put my clothes back on, and I said, you know what? I will not be using this massage, because if I have to lay down on that bed and worry about his hand health for this hundreds of dollars worth of massage, that, by the way, they were going to charge 25-30% gratuity on. I was like, you know what? Let me cut my losses and get out of this right now. It was the worst thing
I like
ever.
the Chinese massage place close to us. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
the simple neighborhood places are the best. That's a vacation to me. If I can go for a massage there without thinking about it, that's a better vacation for me than planning any. Yeah, like
you know what? I'm gonna just take it. This is what I believe. As soon as you are 18, work in other cities. Do what you can to get a job in a different city, in a different location. It's not a vacation, right? You will be working, but you can spend your time immersing yourself in the day-to-day life and culture, and that's a better way to experience a place anyways, right? Like when I was in London, I was not
Yeah.
partying in London. I was working like literally 10 to 12 hours a day. It was ridiculous. But on the weekends, I would go to the park and I would read and I would drink my coffee. And I learned that fruit is terrible in London, by the way. Like, if you're watching this from London, what is going on with the fruit there? Where are the pesticides? It literally tasted terrible. I didn't have fruit for literally 4 months. And so I just think, as much as you can, especially if you're in your early adulthood years, like, use those, like, forget the vacations and work in different cities, is what I
Yeah.
would say.
I agree. Okay, anyway, this has been our episode on vacation planning, things we like to do to unwind, to relax. I want to hear what you guys like to do. What are the things that you value? What are the things that you hate? You hate spending money on. Let's talk about that. And as we end every episode with a round of good grades with Garg, so too we're going to end this episode with a round of good grades with Gargs, where each Garg assigns another Garg an A grade, and we want to hear from you who gets the A grade in your eyes. So who wants to kick off good grades? Who brought the winning moment
I'll
in
I
the
know.
episode?
I want to start.
Great. Okay.
Can I start?
Yeah.
Sure.
I want to give my A grade to Veer. Veer recently visited me at Stanford as for the first half of his spring break vacation. And most kids his age would never have suggested that what he did was a vacation. What we did was he went to class with me, he sat in the library with me, he walked with me every single class I went, every single meeting I had. And we had the best time. I had the best time. And I just think that goes to show that if you want to have a good time, you will have a good time. So it's less about making the vacation perfect and like optimizing, and more about what is the energy you're bringing to the experience. And Veer brought the best energy.
Okay, yes.
I can confirm I did.
I'm going to give mine to Zoya. I do believe that she was never a high maintenance teenager or even a young adult. She never made it look like, oh my God, I have to go here. Oh my God, I have to go there. Oh, my friends are going here. She was never that kid. She was always very, very, close to home and focused on her work and work ethic. And never, ever, I don't remember her once saying that all my friends are going to, Miami. Why am I not going? Or any such thing. Not even once. So
Yeah.
for that, I will give that A grade to Zoya. And it's not easy not to be impressionable as a teenager.
Yeah. Veer?
I want to give my A grade to Dad because I think that we have taken the luxury hotel and other experiences that he planned while he was the primary breadwinner for granted. And I think that we do owe him a little bit of thank for that.
100% plus
like
one.
it.
I agree with that.
Hello? How about this one here who's taking you now? That dad just like fired all these shots. Anyway, we're not gonna get into the sadness of it all. I will give my A grade to Veer because we recently did take a vacation during spring break, and he did so much work during the vacation, and happily so cheerfully he learned everything, hung around with Zoya's friends, and went for classes and came back and reported what he thought of the classes. It was a pleasure to see a kid who wasn't constantly like, this is my vacation and what can I do for me. The whole time we were doing things with each other, and he just went with the flow, and I think that for that he deserves the A grade. Zoya, were you saying
Wait,
something?
I was going to say, Veer, you were at Stanford for 72 hours. Do you want to just close the pod by saying anything that you learned, either from class or like even like that takeaway of like, this isn't that hard?
Oh, yeah. So college is really not that hard, I feel. Like half of it is just listening and being able to take notes, I think. And the things I learned were firstly that there's 7 main types of fighting in Rome for gladiators. There were no more gladiators, and that companies typically die when they get large to the larger scale, and the ones that can make it past that growth are the ones that typically end up being the most successful.
Got it.
Cool. You
That's
like it?
awesome, Veer.
Very good. Okay. This has been our episode on vacation planning, all things unwinding, things we like to spend money on, things we don't like to spend money on. I want to hear everything that you think. Where are you guys going this summer? I hate that question. I hate when people ask me, but I'm going to ask you guys because in case you're going somewhere you're excited about, you should be able to share that. What we didn't get into is people's vacation photos. Maybe that's a whole another episode. The social media explosion of people's vacations. That's a whole another episode. We'll get into it. This has been so fun. If you enjoyed our episode, please watch it with your family. Like, share, subscribe. Let's bring more people into this world. And we can't wait to see you. Until next time, bye.
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 Bye.